Hello, I'm Jingyun, and you can also call me Jean for short. In today's video, I'll be guiding you through a constructive rest or lie down exercise. I find this to be really beneficial for when you want to feel more grounded and connected with yourself while being in a position where it feels more easeful and restful. You can insert this into the start of your day, during a midday break, or even just to wind down after a long day out. So, to get started, you'll need a floor to lie on, a mat if that's available to you, and also some head supports for your head to be on, which can be some books stacked together or something firm like a towel folded up. You might additionally also want cushions to support your knees when you're in a semi-supine position, meaning your feet will be on the ground and legs folded. And also perhaps a blanket or towel to put on your body just to give some weight and feedback. So as you get started with the setting up, you can pause this video before we move into the exercise. Once you feel ready to start, sit on the ground or in the middle of your mat with your knees folded in front of you, feet flat on the ground. Gently place your palms on either side of your hips or your pelvis, and then sense how it's like to be in this position. Notice that your bum or your sitting bones are supporting the whole of you, all the way to the top of your head, through your spine. As you notice this, begin to look towards your tummy so that your head and entirety of your spine curves into a gentle C shape. Continue looking towards your tummy so that your lower back gradually meets the ground below you, followed by the middle of your back, the length of your shoulders, and eventually the back of your head comes to meet the ground. Now you're in a semi-supine position with your feet flat on the ground, knees streaming towards the sky, and go ahead and adjust the hip platforms as you need. The goal of that is so that the front of your neck feels easy to breathe through and the back of your neck feels restful as you remain here for the next 8 to 10 minutes thereabouts. Take a couple seconds to check in on how you can make yourself feel even more comfortable. Whether it's adjusting where your arms are, it can be by your side, or your palms can rest on your belly such that your elbows are folded. It can be closing your eyes as needed, taking off eyewear, and even just adjusting the distance of your feet from your sitting bones so that your knees feel more easy and supported through your hip joints. Once you feel more settled, begin to notice yourself meeting the ground in whatever state you are in today. Sense the parts of your body that makes contact with the ground or mat below you, whether it's the length of your arms, the soles of your feet, the width across your shoulders, or your head making contact with the head supports. Let these sensations invite you to soften more into the ground. There's no need to hold yourself up. Gravity is doing all of that for you. Notice how your arms are connected to your torso, so that even as you breathe, your arms and fingers can be soft and receptive. Sense how your legs can also be easy while really strong and supportive, allowing your hip joints to receive the weight and length of your thighs. There is space in your hips, there's space in your shoulders. If your eyes are closed, sense the back of your head and let your eyes soften. And if your eyes are open, notice the peripheral vision that you have available around you. Sense the areas of your back that is making contact with the ground below you, and let those areas melt more into the ground. Letting this meltiness help you to breathe more generously, enjoying the movement of your ribs and the rest of you. Sense the distance from your hip joints to your knees, and from your knees to your ankles. As you notice that space, let your feet spread out even more to meet the ground, and let your hip joints receive more of the weight of your legs. You are connected from the ground through your feet, through your legs, the length and width of your torso, all the way through your spine and out the top of your head. All of you is responsive and alive. Once again, notice your weight on the ground and where you're making contact with the ground and the head supports. So there is ground, there's all of you, and there's the space around you, including the sounds that you can hear inside and outside of the room. Play around with the different sounds you're noticing and be curious about how you're responding to it, using this just as information, nothing else. Bring your awareness back to your breathing and the rising and falling of your chest. So that as you breathe, you can listen beyond you and within you. Where you are, begin to gently wriggle and wiggle your toes and fingers, waking up the extremities of your limbs. And then let that movement go as they come back to rest. And then once again checking in with your shoulders and hips that are free and spacious. In a moment, we'll be rolling up to sitting. But before then, notice how even this thought of sitting up might have changed your physical and energetic state. And return back to your contact with the ground once more. Very often when we want to do something, we leave ourselves behind. So this constructive rest and lie down practice is a great way to just remind yourself, I can stay here. and then move when you're ready to. If your eyes are closed, gently flit your eyelids open. And if your eyes are open, you can look around the room with curiosity, discovering what you might not have noticed before. Sensing where your head is meeting the head support. Let yourself look towards your left side so that your whole head turns. And then looking back to wherever middle is for you, nose towards the sky. And then eyes looking towards the right, head turning towards the right, even as the rest of you remains on the ground. And then eyes looking back towards the center. Looking towards your left again, begin to roll your entire body towards your left side, knees moving towards the left as well, and you arrive in a little fetal position, curling in a C curve. Taking time here to sense how your breathing is still happening, how your orientation to gravity and the ground below you has shifted. Sensing from the top of your head to the curves of your spine, all the way to the bottom of your sitting bones. Begin to place your hand on the ground, and then you're going to come up to sitting. Once again, collecting yourself, connecting with ground below you, letting the weight of your whole self trickle through. Check in with how you're feeling across your body. How would you describe it? Is it lighter, heavier, more concentrated, more dissipated? Are there areas that feel more open, curious, and receptive? Or are there areas that you weren't so aware of that now you're like, hey, maybe I want to look into that a bit more? Whatever that may be, take note of that for yourself. And you can repeat this lie down exercise as many times as you like. Each time will be different, and each time will reveal something new for you that you might want to discover further. In your own time, you can move into standing or remain here and do some light movement before you move into the rest of your day. So that's all for today's video. Thank you for joining me. If you have any thoughts, feedbacks, comments, feel free to type it below or DM me directly and let's chat. That's all for now. Bye!